All right.
We ready?
I think one of my favorite episodes that never got aired was my bloopers reel. If you've never watched it, it's awesome.
You are listening to Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.
Welcome back to a new episode here on the Digging In Podcast. We have a new guest, Sarah Viall-Lorand.
Got it.
How are we doing this morning, this afternoon, whatever it is at this point in time?
Good.
Good. You seem fired up. That's kind of what Nick said. He's like, I'm fired up earlier, which I thought was kind of funny. What else did he say? Oh, I'm cooked. I've never heard the word cooked before.
Oh, there's discussions a lot of times coming into the operations area because, you know, it's kind of like the fishbowl, I guess, there, right? And all the cool people, I guess, are up there or something. I don't know. But anyway, like they come in all the time, people do, and talk about the different terms and phrases that are being used. So Nick has schooled other people on cooked, and I guess he schooled you today too.
Oh my gosh, I think it's just the funniest thing ever. I can't wait to use it more. Anyway, this isn't about Nick. This is about you, Sarah. Really, I think, you know, what I want to do today on this episode, as long as you're okay with it, is would love to just get to know you a little bit more, have our viewers and listeners get to know you a little bit more, and then JQ has us talking about retirement isn't just an age, so maybe we'll touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
But hey, loaded statement. Who is Sarah?
So I struggle with that. You got to narrow that down a little bit. Do you want to know, like, Sarah at work, outside of work, family, hobbies? Like, just help me a little bit here because I'm just not good at.
Well, first, tell us about what you do here at Rooted Wealth Advisors.
So I am a client services specialist. I'm behind the scenes helping advisors quite a bit, getting ready for appointments, so prepping applications, and then like after the appointments are held and business is signed, sending those applications off, making sure they're getting processed without error. So that could be your retirement accounts, non-retirement accounts. Also help quite a bit. I might be the one on the phone that you call when you're needing a distribution, so I'll help with that. So just behind the scenes kind of stuff. But from time to time, I do meet with clients here in the Bourbonnais office when that's needed.
Honestly, you're spinning a lot of plates. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it depends on the day, depends on the hour. So yeah.
Which can be kind of good and bad, right?
Right.
To not, it doesn't feel very mundane, you know, at times. Like you kind of have something new challenge, new thing.
For sure. I mean, there's always the fun part of you can plan your day, think it's going to go a certain way, but then someone might walk in as Jerry would say, good problems to have, right?
Yeah.
It just keeps you on your toes, keeps you flexible. It's all good.
See, I would have told Jerry, no. So when I was in that position, that's how I started here at Rooted. Was I did strictly new business, then I did new business and service, and then I actually was doing new business, service, and planning all at the same time. And I shouldn't say I hated it, but I am I don't like ambiguity. Like I like expectation. I'm type A, and so I would get a phone call, right? And then that would ultimately take priority of what I had planned, and it would just,
it can be tricky. I like a good mix. Like I need to have structure, need to know what's expected of me, but at the same time, it's like can't be doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it gets too tedious. So it's a good mix of things.
It's a good mix. Well, good.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it so far?
Good. And it's hard to believe it's been, I think, about 6 months now.
It's crazy.
I think it started in September.
If I quit.
Yeah.
And so you came from the banking world beforehand, is that right?
I did work at a bank for about 2 years prior to that. Yep.
How do you think that prepared you for what you're doing today?
Well, if we can go back a little bit further, I mean,
Please.
I do have some experience in insurance and financial services.
I kind of knew that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So, and actually going back even further, I mean, I've been working for 20 some years now. So my work experience has kind of been broken up into 2 different sectors, maybe. I initially went to school for human development and family studies, which might be relevant to some of the things you want to talk about later as far as ages and stages of life and dealing with those. But I spent some time in social services, early childhood education for a while. So like a preschool teacher for a bit. I was also a case manager for kids in foster care.
Whoa.
So that was kind of the first 10 years of my experience, working experience. But that stuff can be some pretty heavy work.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a change, and then that's when I was introduced to insurance and financial services. Starting out, worked for an insurance company in Bloomington, started out with them and like their customer service. So kind of a similar role to what I'm doing now, behind the scenes, making things run smoothly. And then later moved into a claims adjuster role with them.
Okay.
Auto claims adjuster. So hearing about auto accidents and all that stuff. And then I was looking for a little bit more, I guess, independence. And I became an agent then with that insurance company. So I was an agent for a couple of years and sold property, casualty, life insurance.
I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah.
Learning something
So I
new.
do have some of that.
Wow.
And then unfortunately that company was just going through a lot of changes. So I was actually introduced to another financial services company. I interviewed with them, did sign on with them, but it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was very overwhelming.
Okay.
Too much too soon, I think, not the right time in my life. So that unfortunately did not last as long as I had hoped. And so
Okay.
when I was looking to leave that, that's when I was introduced to the banking job.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of all comes full circle in a way.
And yeah, in some
Like in
odd
an odd
ways.
way,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Cool. So what do you like to do outside of the office?
I'm very impressed by the ambition and the hustle that happens here in the office,
Yeah.
but I cannot do that all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm low key outside of the office. I mean, it kind of depends on the season right now, with it still being kind of, unpredictable weather and whatnot. It's hanging out at home with my husband, either watching TV. I hate to say it, but we watch a lot of TV because there's a lot of good shows out there right now.
shame.
Reading books. I like to cook, bake at home. But then when the weather turns, it's a different story. Like, hope to be outside more.
Okay.
Biking, skating, kayaking.
Okay.
I do a lot of roller skating. That's
Okay.
one thing that kind of helps me.
Just release.
Yeah, it's a certain, something about the rhythm and movement of skating.
Interesting.
Lots and lots of circles.
Believe it or not, I have a set of rollerblades. Believe it or not.
Okay, I do not do rollerblades.
Okay.
I
A
do
little more difficult than what
quad
anyone
skate.
would think.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
Got the
Depends on who you talk
expert
to.
Wait, so I have to know what are your TV shows? Like, what kind of TV do you like?
So lately, we've rewatched Ted Lasso. That's a good one.
Okay.
Because I think they're coming out with another season. So we kind of rewatched that one in anticipation of the next season that's coming out. So that's a good one. The Traders is something that we've been watching.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I am. I haven't watched it yet.
Kind of
but
a reality show, and then there's different versions for different, there's the US version, which I think is our favorite, but then there's also the British and Australian and I think in New Zealand versions,
Yeah.
which are interesting too.
Okay.
But I think I like the US version better. So that's an
kind of
interesting
a-
one.
Do you like reality TV?
No, not really, but that one's an interesting one. So half the time people come on, I'm like, I have no idea who these people are,
Okay.
but just the game that they're playing
That's what you
is
like.
interesting. Yeah.
I've seen people
Yeah.
will do like they'll do it at home, right, with their friends. They'll do a Traders, game night.
Well, it's like Mafia. The
Yeah, it
game
looks kinda
Mafia, I
fun.
think that was pretty popular for a
Yeah.
while. So there's that one. Shrinking is another good one that we've been watching lately. I've always
Okay.
been kind of a fan of Harrison Ford.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see him in this kind of a role.
Okay.
I watched soccer games with Justin, my husband.
He's a big soccer fan. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big Premier League fan.
Yeah. Premier League, yep.
Yeah, there's a lot, obviously a pretty diverse career background that's led you to this point, but a lot of experience that I think correlates to what you do. And then I think what's fun is you have some unique, hobbies and activities that you like to do, outside of the office, outside of, look, everyone's got to chill every now and again. There's some people that are wired a little bit different. I won't name any names. That's just
Right.
go 100 miles an hour. That's crazy to me. All right. So I get it. Let's circle back to what JQ wanted us to talk about in terms of, she titled it Retirement Isn't an Age. So I think, kind of what she means is how kind of these, identity shifts and a lot of different things. I think the first question becomes what do you think surprises people the most about retirement?
I think, there's a lot of talk about the planning, about the financial aspects of it, but maybe more so something like the social emotional aspects of it too are important and need to be talked about. I think it's not necessarily one size fits all either. Just thinking about how to answer this question, my own parents, my dad, he's still farming. He's in his mid 70s. He's still farming,
Wow.
right? He's going to do it probably until it gets taken away from him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge legacy and huge identity that's wrapped up in that. I think it probably depends on the type of work that you do too.
Yeah.
I mean, again, farming, that's one thing. Whereas my mom, she was a teacher. That's something you kind of expect a bit more, right? For teachers to put in the work, with those kids, but then deserve a nice retirement after dealing with those children for so long, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so she is retired. She's been retired for probably 10, 12, 15 years
Okay.
now. I don't remember exactly when she retired. So I might be getting away from your question now.
No, I
Is that
think you're on the
answer?
right track, right? I think ultimately the way that I kind of view it, and it's different for everyone. I think you said that first, and I 100% agree with that. I think it's more of like you could have just the best, most sound retirement plan in the world, right? Like there's just it is so good that like there's nothing in the world that could, alter financially speaking your plan. But what do you do in retirement? Like,
Yeah.
what is your passion? Like, where are you going to find fulfillment
Yeah,
in
for sure.
life? I think is one of the biggest questions. And sometimes it's overlooked. I think now it's become more popular. It's more talked about of like, hey, make sure you have a plan that's not just financially speaking, but personally speaking.
Yeah.
That was my dad's biggest fear of retirement was just like, what am I going to do? He saw a lot of his coworkers 6 months to a year not make it, right? Just because they didn't really have anything to do.
Yeah.
So I think a good question then with that would be is like, is that a reason that people that are retired might struggle emotionally, or is there something more to it?
Yeah, I think that would be a big piece of it. I mean, because if you think about it, a lot of us work those 9 to 5 jobs or have, structure laid out for us. So if you're
Yeah.
not good at creating that for yourself, and then you no longer have to, answer to your employer
Yep.
or to the people that you used to work with, I would imagine that would be very hard.
That would be hard.
Yeah, hard,
Especially
right?
after 40 years
Or
of like,
however many years it's been. And a lot of people find a sense of value and purpose in their job. So finding something that's not tied to employment can be difficult for people as well.
yeah, what are some things that people, can consider outside of maybe just like hobbies?
Well, I mean, I can put in a plug here for volunteering.
Please.
I'm on the United Way board
Okay.
here at Kankakee and Iroquois counties. Like, we are always looking for people to volunteer their time and their talents, even if it is just like sitting in on a focus group and sharing ideas about how we can better our community. It can be donating money. That's
good
makes
too,
sense.
right?
We will never, not accept that. But a lot of it too is just donating your time and your talents, your expertise, to benefiting other people around you.
Yeah, I like that. So in your eyes, for you personally, what is a successful retirement? What does that look like for you? Have you thought about it?
I mean, something that has more freedom. I do sometimes struggle with, again, other things being imposed upon me.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm, more independent. Like, I do need that though, I realize. So it needs to be some kind of structure to my day or my month or my week or year, whatever time frame you look at. But more time doing some of the things that I try to do now is like gardening, having pets at home, spending time with my nieces, other family members, friends, continuing some of the things that I do now, but
Yeah, just more of
it. Yeah.
because you got more time and freedom.
Yeah.
I like that. What do you think is one thing that people don't think about enough?
I mean, I think we've kind of already talked about this, though. Again, there's a big, talking about the financial aspect of it. But again, like your
the personal
emotional
aspect, yeah.
the more emotional, social aspect of it, maybe the health aspect of it too. Like, you may
good point.
plan grand things for your retirement, but what if you're not in good health
Right.
to enjoy it?
Yeah. Or what
Yeah.
if, even just, the health cost, right?
Yeah.
And just all those different things. Yeah, interesting. I think the health's an interesting component there.
Yeah.
Who are you going to spend it with, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is really that time going to consist of? I'm reflecting right now as I kind of think about it a long way away. But like right now, I have no idea.
Yeah. Right.
Like, as much as I say I would want to retire, I have no idea what I would
Yeah.
do.
It's easy to say what we think we would do, but then
Yeah.
until you're faced with it, you don't always know.
Yeah, and life evolves and changes, and
Yeah.
even 10 years later, like things are gonna look a lot different. So
For sure.
Anyway, Sarah, I appreciate you taking the time. Appreciate you, maybe opening yourself up a little bit more for people to get to know you, and then kind of bantering a little bit on kind of some of those what does retirement look like questions. So, anything else that you want to share with our viewers or listeners?
Again, I'm do awful with those kinds of questions. You got to give me a little bit more prompt. If there's something else you think I need to share, I don't know.
I think you did
I don't
great.
even know. Thank you.
I think you did
appreciate
great.
that.
We love having you here at Rooted. I think you do a great job. Love your
Thank
attention
you.
to detail. Yeah, appreciate you taking the time. So, if you want to talk to one of the advisors, if you want to just say hi to Sarah or ask her a much more specific question, give our office a call. 866-766-8332. And as always, we'll dig in soon.
This was Digging In Podcast, presented by Rooted Wealth Advisors.